Good afternoon, everybody. Normally, I jump right into my intros, but you know what? Today, it's Smokin' Dad Appreciation Day. He turned 75 today. Happy birthday to my father. The reason I'm the Lions fan I am. There we are there at Family Fun Fest, taking that picture basically at the 50-yard line where I sat with Detroit Dom DeRubis, Eric Shawn, my brother from another mother, and we went out and had a great day that day. Thank you to my dad for making me the Lions fan I am and the reason why I do these shows, as well as everything else that's happened in my life. He's the reason I've paid so much attention to the Lions. Let's get this thing started.
Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Meat Cat Body by Jeremy Jones.
That's right. Thank you, Is Undone and Ricky Sakat, for wishing my dad a happy birthday. This man right here in this photo, I had to put it up on the group because he's the reason I am the fan I am. I got into expanding my football knowledge after a long talk with my son during that 2018 Super Bowl when the fail cants failed to get it done versus the Patriots. When Matty Ice proved that that nickname doesn't belong anymore. Was it all his fault? No. Was it Kyle Scamahan's fault? Probably. "75 years young today. Smoking Dad Ken Ballrick." Yes, 2 tours in Vietnam. He came home and made me. I'm not a legend yet, but I'm working on it. Thank you, Brett DeWitt. Uh, so my question is, what UDFA or late round pick from this year that you guys want me to do a deep dive and a profile on. Let me know. I'll do one tomorrow and one Friday. If it's a UDFA, I'm going to push it back a day if it's a late round pick. No, I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching that tonight. 100% I'll be watching Receiver. Peyton Manning's second series on Netflix. You want me to do a deep dive into Manu? I can do that. I can probably have that done by tomorrow. I've already watched plenty of game film. There is a little difference between the Canadian College Football League and what we do here in the NCAA and NFL. There's a couple of rule differences they're able to get away with that aren't flagged, which is why he's having a transitional period, which is why he's a project player as a fourth rounder. Thank you, Davey. Paul Jones in the house. Yes. We all want Manu to pan out because he is a fourth rounder. Um, but fourth rounders and back are usually project players. We're not used to hearing this. And I'm going to explain that because we have had such success in the late rounds from Brad Holmes. We're used to getting somebody that's able to contribute and start year one. So late third round compensatory all the way through. We don't understand this. Oh my God, we got a project player. And Mahogany. Oh, Mahogany is good. I've already did that one, and that'll be an easy one. I'll release that on Monday. I just got to get out my notes, Brent. 100%. But with the slow news period, I figured I'd ask, who do we want some deep dives on? There's some good UDFAs we need to talk about too. Um, Isaac, and he has a weird last name, who's a defensive end we picked up. We gave him 250,000 guaranteed. Um, he might be somebody to look at. He started out at James Madison University, was having a promising career till an injury derailed him. Darius Fountain, I can do that too. But I think I've already did the deep dive into Traquan Smith ahead of everybody else. Remember, I was heralding this pickup right after the rookie OTAs. I was like, hey, this guy might be good. He just hasn't been in the right system yet. He languished on the Saints going in and out of the lineup from the practice squad. Is it true the Lions are interested in Judon? The rumor is out there. I don't know if it's true. I haven't heard anything. But if it is true, I would not be above sending commission a third or fourth round pick for Judon in a heartbeat. Boom. I wouldn't trade Derek Barnes. He had some flashes last year. But I would do the commish in a third or fourth rounder and trade DN for DN. Because what it is, they need to clear cap. They got some big contracts coming up that they can't afford unless they clear out some cap room. And Judon has a big contract for them, but it's not big compared to other teams. That's why I said I would be in on trading Kamish in a third or fourth rounder for Judon straight up. That came out last week, Ricky, around Thursday or Friday. But I'm not trading Derek Barnes. Matt Chesterton, good to see you. Skull, my friend. Yes, it is my smoking dad's birthday. I hope he gets in the chat soon. He might be busy with his wife. But the Judon stuff came out last week, and it was somebody a little bit closer and a little bit more prominent than just your normal clickbait sports page that normally writes this stuff, which is why I put a little more emphasis on it than the average person would. And I think because Judon is on the trade block with the Patriots, that is the main thing, which means he's available to be traded for. And tonight at 9 p.m., we will be doing the NFL Roundtable Talks. Of course, we'll be getting into more details about the passing of Kyrie Jackson, the driver, Isaiah Hayden, and Anthony Litton Jr. Because they all three went to high school together and played on the same football team. They went to their different colleges. They all were either UDFAs or late round picks, and they all had a chance for a promising career, and it all was taken away too short because one woman decided to drive drunk instead of getting an Uber. Isaiah Hayden was the one that stayed sober and was the designated driver. No, we already got the full contract back on June 1st. I was the one that broke that immediately. Remember after that Saturday when we got the money back, I talked about it, went into detail about it. Um, the only site that has the money exactly right now is Over the Cap. Um, Sutton's trying to sue civilly to get his guaranteed money back because the Lions canceled his check just before they cut him. So right now, we already got all of it back. We got 100% of his salary cap back that year for this year. So the only thing that might happen is this will lessen how much he can get of that guaranteed money, but it won't affect us till a year or two. He's trying. He's got a civil court case right now, but the civil court system is backed up by a year, so it won't do anything till next year. The money's already on our salary cap. I've been trying to explain that, and people have totally forgotten that we got all 12.5 of his cap hit back already. We are thinking about placing an order for football jerseys, and yes, the new ones are available, all three, including the alternate. Email me, smokinjeremyb@gmail.com with your size and what uh, what players you want on your jersey, or if you want a custom jersey and number, let me know. Sutton and Brockers. Those are the two worst ones that come to mind right now. Yeah, we took a 4.2 million dollar dead cap hit instead of a 17.5. We took a dead cap hit. I'm good with it. It was reduced because of the gravity of the situation. I personally don't think he has a leg to stand on and civilly in court, and it probably will never get to court. Something will get settled out of court much less than what he's trying to sue for, especially now that he's only available for 9 games instead of 17. But yeah, okay, so I got Manu, I got Mahogany. Anybody else? Oh, Fontaine. Any more late round picks or UDFAs you want to know about? Emmanuel Mosley will probably be depth as long as he comes back healthy and shows us anything in preseason. I think the talent is better than he was around him in the room now, and the chances of him getting that number one spot is slim to none. I think he will end up either 4 or 5, CB 4 or 5 on this roster, and he'll be coming in when for fresh legs. I think that's about all you'll see of Emmanuel Mosley. But he is already at the facility. He has already been working out. with the strength and conditioning coaches on his rehab, and he's close to being fully healthy. I am. So who's number 1 and 2 in slot starters? Right now, according to everything they've said, Carlton Davis the third is the CB1 and Terrion Arnold is 2. Yeah, I know. There's been some weird ones. I think putting Houston ahead of us for best young roster under 25 on that top 10 list, it's a little off. Um, we have 7 starters that are under 25, and 3 of them have made Pro Bowls. 2 of them are all pros. I think that says everything you need to know about our young roster. We would have had a third All Pro on that list had he not gone and signed with the Rams, but I don't mind him being gone because he was oft injured last year, and we did fine without him, and that was Jonah Jackson. No, but Reader, and what's weird is King SJ, thank you very much. I'm quite sure when Smokin' Dad gets in here, he'll be humbled. So, anybody else? We got Fontaine, Manu, and they're wrong. I got Laporta at worst in the top 3. Double digit touchdowns. That's all I got to say. I think Anzalone is at his peak. I think he won't get much better. Tom Kennedy jersey on back order. Oof. Finished tight end 1 as a rookie. Tight end 1 in touchdowns. He was 3rd in yardage. To me, that makes him second best overall. I'm not trying to be a homer here, but he should have been in the top 10. I seen a list that had Brock Bowers in the top 10. Texans fans gave me grief because they said they were number 1 because Stroud trumps all of our guys. Oh yeah, let's just say, almost bought a Zach Zenner. You're not the only one. The neurosurgeon, Zach Zenner. That's what he's doing now. Wow, it has been quite a week. So the NFL roundtable talks, like I said, we're going to start about talking about those 3 young men that passed tonight. We're also going to be doing some NFL based trivia. I've already got 1 question in the books. I will be asking 2 more. I'm going to find something else to talk about. You guys want to hear a crazy stat? And it's Dan Marino and Nathan Peterson. Dan Marino in 247 games has the exact same amount of rushing yardage as Nathan Peterman starting 15 games, 87 yards. Zenner and Kennedy among my goats. Yes. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. One is a Hall of Famer and one is a never been. And they have the exact same amount of career rushing yards. Just shows to show you one was a great pocket passer and the other one doesn't know what a pocket is and has the pocket presence of Justin Fields. Come on now. I'm laying it out there for you. I'm throwing softballs. Somebody hit it out of the park. I just remember Dan Marino running more than that, but he didn't. There was a couple of years when Miami had a bad O line for him. And somebody said he had great wide receivers. OJ McDuffie and who? I remember him having OJ McDuffie, and I can't name you another wide receiver off that roster. That's how bad I remember that roster being. What about the news out of Caleb doing the interview with Mike Florio saying, I know my worth is why he hasn't signed his contract? Here we are, less than a week away from training camps for the when the rookies report, and he has not yet signed his contract and says he knows his worth. And it's funny how it was Mike Florio he talked to because Mike Florio is a previous lawyer. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but I think it's showing the character flaws we all talked about prior to the draft with Caleb Williams. I'm not even trying to throw smoke. I'm not trying to talk crap. I'm just calling it like I see it. I was watching the show prior to us on the Huddle Sports Network, listening to two Bears fans go at each other's throats over it. And I was like, look, LGBTQ1 is making waves between uh, the fan base. But one fan didn't want him and one fan loves him. But it's still making waves. And he goes, well, how is this an issue when it's not even being talked about by Bears media writers in Chicago? And he goes, because he jumped their heads and went straight to Mike Florio, who's a national beat writer. I don't know. Yes, Smoltz, Pedro Martinez, Glavin, Maddox all combined to strike out Tony Gwynn 3 times their whole careers. This is my favorite obscure stat. Somebody posted a meme today saying Peyton Manning and Drew Brees were never shut out in their careers, but Tom Brady was 3 times. And I did the research. It's false. Peyton Manning had a shutout his rookie season, and Drew Brees was shut out twice his rookie season. They combined for 3, which is the exact same amount of shutout that Tom Brady had in his 20-plus year career. Just wanted to get that out there. Even the great ones. get shut out. Other than that, there is nothing out there. I don't know what to talk about. There's a possible Judon trade. It's a rumor, nonetheless, but it came from a more credible source than the usual sources, so I kind of like it. If we were going to make a trade, like I said, I'd offer commission a third or fourth, and I would make that trade all day. Also, if Gretzky didn't have one goal, he'd still be the all-time points leader in history. Wow. Yeah, he was a facilitator, wasn't he? Man, it's been such a weird off season. I've been doing more shows and having more fun. I love doing this, guys. And I do it for you, all the fans. I love it when the interaction's coming in hot and heavy. So what's next? I think Anzalone is at his ceiling. I think Jack Campbell might end up being our best tackler this year. He started out rough playing out of position, but he came into his own when they moved him back to starting at middle linebacker. Rodrigo and Barnes are great fillers, but they're not starters in the NFL. That's my point. If Barnes wants starter money, he'll probably be kicking rocks next year unless he really blossoms into an all around player this season. I am. Like I said, I will be at the Beaumont Children's Hospital golf outing, which is ran by Donnie and Mark Wahlberg on August 26th, which there will be current and former players. And am I going to next year's draft? I don't know if I want to. I've been looking at hotels that are booked up to an hour away from Green Bay already. Um, I might not go to next year's draft. Yoli Cruz, good to see you, young lady. Welcome in, our favorite Packer fan. So I don't know if I'm going to next year's draft. I do know I have an in possibly to be at the Super Bowl, but that requires something I got to check into now because those rooms are almost booked up to 30 minutes out from New Orleans already. So unless I know it for sure, yes, you are one of the Huddle Sports Network's top fans, and that's why I make sure. What about the rookie combine? I want to go to that. I got to apply for those and get it in. So I got to apply to that one soon too because I want to be one of those people there. So yeah, I want to go to the combine. I've been to the draft. I want to be at the Super Bowl and the combine, and I'm just hoping when I'm in attendance, I get a chance to talk to some Lions. Be cool to see you at the pajama party. Hey, yeah, but you have more access to those guys than you do at the draft. That's what I like is the media row. They kind of walk through and they do like a car wash type of thing, like they do at ESPN for the shows at ESPN Radio for the day. But yet at the same time, while Aleem is not in the top 10 defensive tackles, you know what is in the top 10 for defensive tackles? Is our room. Interior defenders, we have the best duo in the league. I would have been all over the Coopers this year. Oh, yeah. That's what I'll be working on. I'll tell them it means for the pride, and everybody will say it, and everybody in the chat will laugh. Come on now, wouldn't that be funny? I heard BB has looked great. They've moved him uh, inside and out this offseason, and he's had a really good camp. Dijon has been okay, um, but he doesn't really have to start. He's going to get to be a backup where it looks like Quinyon Mitchell will be starting. But they both get to learn from Darius Slay, which that can't be that bad of a thing. James Bradbury is probably washed at this point. I think he's even off the roster. In other notes, Xavier Worthy is looking like he's doing his best impression of Kadarius Toney in OTAs, struggling to keep it at even less than a 30% drop right. So the Chiefs are looking right on track to be right where they were last year with a bunch of receivers that can't catch the ball and still get to the Super Bowl. Because I don't see a team that really rivals them in the West. I asked about how much a sponsorship for FTP on South Florida Tribune, but got stonewalled. Yes, you did, sir. I saw it. I was dying that you were asking it. You were hoping to get him to Ron Burgundy it one more time. Hey, Candy probably already educated him saying, "Don't you ever say FTP again." Oh, it was great. You got it once. Be happy you got it once, Orlando, because not very many people get Scott, and that was great when you got him to say it. I was like, "Oh my god." Oh. Michael Thomas, Hunter Renfro, Corey Davis, all still available, and I don't think we need any of them. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think we need a wide receiver. I like our wide receiver room. Candy vets the comments because of me. Yes, she does. Man, so many things have happened. Let's see. So we went to the Will Vogel. Why hasn't Big V retired yet? Because somebody might get hurt and they might need an aging guard to fill in later. And even if he retires, the voided contract still doesn't come off the roster. And our favorite Giants UDFA pickup from last season didn't make it through OTAs this season. He had another season-ending injury. Bryce Ford Wheaton is out for the season. Such promise. Thank you, Will. I'm quite sure he'll appreciate it. This still was one very fun day for us, the Family Fun Fest. I love that man to death. Not gonna lie. He introduced me to a pretty colored team that ended up being the team I love. What happened to Chase Cota and Dylan Drummond? Chase Cota went to another team and got hurt. Brent, good afternoon, JB, and a pride of Lion Cats. You made it in before we were off air. Congratulations, sir. Probably been busy with work, and I get it. It happens. Or get sidetracked eating. I've done that too. Because I am not a small man, and getting in between me and my food is not smart. Oh, yep, it's my dad's birthday today. 75 years young. Thank you, JBJ. He goes, thanks, JB. Yes, working. Hey, it happens. So we can't always get lunch on time. That's the only thing that can come in between me and food is work. And I treat this like work, but it's not work because I really enjoy doing it. I'm not gonna lie. I love talking lions. I love sorry to dad then. It's okay. We're 41 years at GM. Spent two No, he's just a Pepsi guy. But lately he's been mostly water. What's my go-to lunch? Philly cheesesteak. What's the topic today? Who's the UDFA or late round pick that you guys would like me to do a deep dive for profiles over the next week because the news has been so slow? I've already got Doris Fountain, Giovanni Manu, and Christian Mahogany. I was hoping to hear more of these unsung guys that we don't hear anything about. Some of the guys on the practice squad. I don't want to do the same ones other shows have done. That's why I asked the fans to come up with it. I want to know who they want to know about. And somebody already did the Isaac kid that's a defensive end on Detroit 3-1. Uh, uh, I'm trying to think of it. 313 Den podcast. They did theirs on that kid. I don't want to do the same ones. So I like the Manu, I like the Mahogany, and I like the Fountain. I've already did the deep dive into Traquan Smith back when I was talked to about him. I went ahead and researched him and did that deep dive into him. I was going to say Manu or Sasquatch. Yeah, that seems to be everybody's go-to. Everybody wants to know more about our 6 foot. What is he? 6'7", 350-pound, incredible bulk of a man who came out of the University of British Columbia. Mikai Wingo. Okay, I could do a deep dive into Wingo. Sauce is not ours, so I don't. I did his draft profile prior to the draft that year. That was pretty easy. I'm being serious. I've seen a Sasquatch before. Oh, gotcha. Well, you're one of probably 25,000 people since the whole video release from back in the 70s came out. Like there's been over 25,000 sightings between the Pacific Northwest and Michigan, and as far south as Florida, but they call them the skunk ape. It's weird, but there's been 250,000 unconfirmed and 25,000 confirmed, where it's been investigated sightings of Bigfoot, where they found evidence that could be related to a Sasquatch. So yes, I've done that research too. I'm big into the paranormal. I love that stuff. It's fun. Man, is so. What do you guys think about Caleb Williams saying, "I know my worth" to Mike Florio on Monday, and rookie camp start next Friday, and he has to be signed before he can attend camp? What do you guys think about that news coming out of Caleb's mouth? Really? Yes, I would like to know more about Wingo. They exist. There's a guy who's called Gumshoe Guy in the Grass Lake area. He has over 2,800 sightings in Michigan. Yes, he has. Are they confirmed? Yeah. Some of them you're like, seen some of the pictures and the videos he's done, and some of them are a little too grainy for my liking, but some of them are compelling. His attention to detail is amazing. It makes me think he was some type of investigator before. He is an investigator in Laura, Michigan, who saw one. Yes, I get it. I just said that. It makes me think he did investigation prior to it, though, because he's very detail oriented. So now we got Mikai Wingo, Manu, Fontaine, Mahogany. Yeah, I know of him. I've watched some of the stuff he's put out. Like I said, I'm big into the paranormal, UFOs, ghosts, all that stuff. That's my free time go tos. I like watching that stuff. I like watching the stuff on YouTube almost as much as I used to like Ghost Adventures, who faked 70% of their stuff. You have done your homework. Yes. Things I'm into, I study. That's just how I am. I'm paranormal. Yes, you are not normal, Will. You are paranormal. I agree. Do I think it is very bold and brazen of us to not think that aliens aren't real. And I'll explain why. Look how big the universe is and how many planets are out there and how many solar systems other than ours, and who are we to say we are the only intelligent life in this universe that makes up our solar systems, the Milky Way. Detroit Fan Man, how about some info video on the possible new returner Isaiah Williams? Yeah, I could do that. I've still got my notes on Antoine Green from last year, which I'm still high that he's making this roster. I come from the species known as BCP. Just BC. Yeah, I mean, Wingo was supposed to go into between 90 and 120. He was considered a late third, early fourth. Mahogany was considered a late second to early third. So, we got some gems in the sixth round. Wingo and Mahogany. It's amazing that we got them if you think about it. But we got Mahogany because he has one leg shorter than the other, and he basically cannot play any position but right guard. But the fact he had the stats. How do you know it's all off season without saying it's off season? Sasquatch aliens talk might do it. Yes, sir. It is. It got brought up, so we discussed it. Uh, do I think Antoine Green could start? I think he has the possibility to be wide receiver 4 or 5 at best. There's no way he cracks the top 3. That's how you know it's a slow off season, Detroit fan, man. Get it right. Because last off season, but I did less shows. I never had to talk about this kind of stuff. It's because I do a daily show now and we run out of topics. But yes, I'll look into Wingo, Mahogany, Isaiah Williams, Doris Fontaine, and Manu. That's the list I got so far. You got anybody else you want to know about Detroit fan, man? Then Isaiah Williams? God, I love you guys. I mean, to come up with the stuff you do right out the box is amazing. I mean, you hit in my wheelhouse. I am a paranormal study enthusiast. I love that stuff. My YouTube history consists of some slots play people, lots of paranormal, and lots of Detroit Lions and NFL stuff. And of course, the South Florida Tribune, the paper I write for, under the Motor City Tribune heading. A lot of the fan base doesn't know who need. You cover everything great, JB. I wish there were more like you. Thank you. That's a testament. I have my free stuff that I do in the off season, and I will say that if you want a good, funny movie to watch, I think elite players are paranormal. And when I say paranormal, paranormal just means not normal, extraordinary, super normal, or super abnormal. Elite players are not normal. You There's certain specimens that are out there, like Lawrence Taylor, Barry Sanders, Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, Jim Brown. These guys broke the mold of what we thought a normal running back was. You can go back even further, back into the 50s, and talk about Doak Walker. They named an award after him in college for the best running back. That's how big it was. That's how big he was back then. And people are just mind blown that, well, how do you know that? Fred Blitnikoff, one of the greatest college wide receivers ever. And that's why it's called the Blitnikoff Award for best wide receiver. People forget this stuff. They're named after people. Davy O'Brien, great college quarterback, didn't do anything in the NFL, but man, was he great in college. The Dick Butkus Award, that goes without saying. We all know that's the most outstanding linebacker. My brother lives up in the UP and he sees crazy stuff all the time. Oh, I bet UP is the reason why there's less street lights up there because there's less big cities, so the sky is darker and it's easier to see everything. That's all I got to say about it. It is if you haven't been to the UP, I suggest going there and staying a couple days and just pay attention to the night sky. I like the campground near the Tuamanin Falls myself. I've been to Castle Rock and seen the mystery spot and all that good stuff up there. It's just when you're away from the bright lights of big cities, you see more in the night sky. That's all I got to say. It's hard to explain it unless you've actually seen it. But if you live in a big city, there's way more stars in the sky than just the big ones you see. What is it Case Keenum used to say? He has a night vision scope and it's crazy. Oh, that's awesome. I'm quite sure he has some interesting stuff he's seen. Andrew Souls lives up there. The guy that runs We Are Lions Nation Unite. No, We Are Lions Nation podcast or whatever it was that I used to be a part of. He just had knee surgery. He's going through rehab. I hope he gets well soon. That was the first full season under Dan Campbell. I was a part of that podcast. It was after that season that I decided to break off on my own. This will be my third NFL season covering the Lions exclusively by myself for the most part. Um, I like doing game breakdowns. I like doing it in a different way. I don't just talk about the numbers. I talk about key things and momentum swings. Uh, but I love covering the draft most and foremost. That is my bread and butter. Well, at least we are not talking about how crappy the Lions are. It used to be painful. Oh yeah, when I was a part of We Are Lions Nation, those two guys that started it, Logan and Andrew, they were telling me we were going to win 11 games and go to the playoffs. I was like, with this roster, the window of wins is 5 to 9 at best. We stripped this team to the studs. We have absolutely no top end talent. He goes, but we got the first pick overall in that trade, getting Jared Goff. I said, we had the first pick overall. We've seen how that works. I don't expect much, and I overshot at 5. It was 3 wins. And yes, it is that time, our favorite time of the day, when we talk about our sponsors. And the number one is the one Brent mentioned, FTP. Put it in the chat. Fornicate the Packers. Pour the pride. Flog the porpoise. Found the plunger. File transfer protocol forever. God, there's so many more you could do. Fix the plumbing. Fred's true prophecies. Yes, Davey FTP. Thank you for reminding me. And last but not least, my favorite sponsor, because they actually paid me to do this. It is Brandon's Tire at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road. 602 West Atherton Road to be exact. In Flint, Michigan, where the tires are good, but the water's shit. If you need new tires, please call 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself. If you need used tires, they start at $40 a piece. Mention this ad, get $10 off your set. Maybe covering the draft as number 2, telling those people FTP should remain number 1. Okay, I'll give you that one, Detroit Man. Hit the like button on your way out today. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way you're going to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Unless you're talking to a rival fan base, then fuck 'em. There, I said it. It's the only F-bomb I'll drop the entire show. God bless you, Brent. Thank you. Did you see Will Johnson? Michigan is 96 overall, best player in the NCAA 25. That's cool. Hey, it's cool that he got that rating. I don't have NCAA 25 yet. I didn't prepay for it. Couldn't afford it. I had bills to pay. Video games are second for me. They're fun. I'll get it, and I'll have a lot of fun with it. Trust me. I think the first thing I'm going to do is create a wide receiver. We all know what the last name's going to be. And y'all tell me what the last name of my wide receiver will be. If you paid attention to the show, you know. It'll be Blow. That way I can draft him to the Lions and we can have Hooker to Blow saves Christmas. It has been my pleasure. Blow at Ball State. I don't know about Ball State. I might put him at Eastern or Western Michigan. I can't do Ball State. You got to make him go to Ball State. No, I don't want to. I don't like Ball State. I think the Western Michigan Broncos with David Blau at wide receiver makes more sense. But thanks everybody for tuning in. It has been a wonderful day, and I will see you all tonight at 9 o'clock. Have a great day, everybody.
Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out Meat Cat Bodies by Jeremy Jones.